Hi guys, this is Angela and G, and I'm going to be talking about my research project for Module 3, and this is for my CIS321 class. And here's my Blackboard, and I'll go ahead and pull up my PowerPoint, and I'm going to be talking about how the mobile app works. It's an exploration on how to develop an app, specifically for the Android market. First, we want to start out with the goal. We have to be able to basically have a mobile app blueprint. What is the mission of the app? What problem is it going to solve? Who are the customers? Who is the target audience? Then we have to be able to have a visual representation of the app. So basically, be able to have on a sheet of paper the interface of the app, the layout, what the customer is going to see, and you have to be able to put it out there so other people to be able to see it. You have to do your research. What competition is out there? What are the technical requirements? You also be able to know how are you going to price your app. I mean, how much is it going to cost to the consumer? You have to be able to do your research on that with regards to, as well as competitors. What are they doing? How are you going to market your app, and how are you going to make money off of it? If you're kind of like me and you don't have very little, like nothing towards knowing how to code or anything like that, you might want to hire a developer. In that case, you'd want to look at who that person is, if they'd be interested in what kind of app you want to put out there. An example would be if you want to put a game app, then in that case you'd be looking for somebody who's interested or done gaming apps in the past or really interested in that. You want to be able to look at their portfolio. You want to be able to check the references and maybe check some of their clients' references and see what they say about this person. You want to be able to have a good fit, with this person, be able to have a good relationship with them, be able to communicate, which is the key. They have to be able to see what your vision is. Pricing you have to be aware of, but it really isn't the main focus. Your main focus should really be to put your idea, your app out there and bring it to life. And also you want to have a clear vision, and you want to be able to describe the design and the final product that you have in your head to the developer. And like I said, pricing, it really just depends if you're going to hire a developer. It depends on what kind of project you're going to be working up as far as your app goes. What coding, is there going to be an open source code? Basically where you're located. I'm sure it's going to be different from living in New York trying to look for a developer there than, across the world in India or even here in Bowling Green. Identify the platform and what category is the app going to be. Is it going to be a simple app? Is it going to have database supported app? Is it going to be more of an enterprise or a business related app? Or is it just going to be a game app? So it really just depends when it comes to that pricing. Now, here is where you really don't want to hire and you want to become a developer. In that case, that's great. And I think that's really something that a lot of the students and my classmates are going to be interested in, because we're all pretty much taking this class as for fun or kind of like maybe a minor or a major. And I think that's great. Definitely it's something in demand, especially for the Android developers. It's a growing market. I mean, according to this article that I pulled up, and it's from September 1st, 2014. Matt Miller, he's the CTO of Cybercoders, and he said that it's Android is currently the dominating the global market share right now. So I think that's great. Also, some facts that I got from the article is jobs posted for Android positions have grown by 110%, and that's from 2012 to 2014. And if you compare that to the iOS jobs, they only have 54%. Job applications received for Android positions grew as well, from 100 to 165%. Again, if you compare that to iOS jobs, only 54%. I mean, that's awesome. And also, it takes time to place the Android developers. That also beats the iOS market by 50%. As far as becoming a developer, there are several ways you can do that. I mean, you could go to college. You could major in computer science or computer tech. Also, I've noticed that there are a lot of, you can do more of a smaller degrees, like an associate's, or you can try to just get a certificate. I noticed the University of Washington, for example, has a certificate in Android application development, so they're really focused on that. There are a lot of online training and tutorials programs that you can find, like on YouTube, or if you want to be more professional, even get a certificate from them, or you want to have more one-on-one relationship, would be able to learn how to code and how to be a developer. You can go to appinstruct.com. So there's several here. Developerandroid.com, which is one that I really focused on for later slides. Treehouse.com, and then there's plenty more. Also, you could, if you don't really want to pay for any of this, you could just buy yourself a book and teach yourself. You can do some research online, or just pretty much experiment with software. So it really depends on how much you want to put into it. And you can learn to be a developer, depending on how you want to get there. Beginning with, if you did want to, you would have to be able to install the base. Basically, what tools are you going to use to start the app? Basically the base. Did you want to use Android SDK and DK, C or C++? You can use an Eclipse. This is basically from that Android. It was developers.android website, and it pretty much gave many steps on how to. They were going to go into how to start off, basically. So you want to be able to understand the system design. You want to be able to know whether it's customized and standard user interface, whether you're going to do that, whether it's going to have backend solutions, what are the essential app qualities that you want to have in this app, and are you going to be able to have payment on that app. So it's just, and payment integration. So it just really depends on what kind of app you want to do. You have to be able to understand the technical aspects if you are going to become a developer, and if you want to be able to know this, you have to be able to know how people will use the app and all the details of your app to be able to make sure it's successful. As far as running the app, there are several ways. You can do the real Android powered device and plug into the USB cable, which I thought was interesting. You can use the Eclipse, and you can run a command line, which they were using as well. You can run an emulator and create an Android virtual device, which is an emulator configuration that lets you model an actual device by defining hardware and software options to be emulated by that Android virtual device. And something that definitely I think is great that we learned is our virtual systems information, all that stuff they learned, our virtual machines. It really comes in handy in this part because you'll be able to kind of run your app and be able to see it. Another thing that I found interesting is the legal aspects. I really didn't think there'd be many. I think you maybe, okay, do the work and then put it out there. But there are really people that, you can get sued, for any kind of reasons, or there are people out there who just want money and they'll sue an app, So you have to be able to protect your app. You have to be able to go into whether or not you want certain ownership structure. You have to be able to have some shareholder agreements, non-disclosure agreements. You have to be able to at least basically know about some of intellectual property law. This is your app and you want to be able to protect your creation. Regulatory compliance and gaming. So there are different aspects of that. As far as marketing the app, you got to make sure that it's unique. There are a lot of copycats out there, and they usually don't do very well. But if your app is unique, then yeah, it's going to be successful. You want to be able to promote it through social media like Facebook and Twitter, and all these cool social medias that are out there. You got to think big. You got to put out some promo codes out there. Maybe contact blogs. Like if you're gonna do a mortgage calculator, then maybe you want to get in touch with a real estate website or real estate people, bankers and those people that maybe they get together and they start blogging about it. You have to, if you can, maybe have a great website to accompany the app. Just something that be able to promote your app and market it. Once your app is out there, you want to be able to track it. You want to be able to monitor it. And there are plenty of tools to be able to monitor your app performance. You'll be able to get customer reviews and be able to have customer support feedback. There are several softwares that can help you with that. It's just basically out there to help you make better decisions with your customer feedback and be able to make, like I said, better business decisions, and then put your app more useful and make it better for your customers. So that's really the whole point. So like I have a list here of possible software companies and websites, that businesses that offer that and provide that to app developers. Interesting facts. I have a few facts here that are really interesting. Apps have been really great. I mean, they've been growing. It's like a new category of business. I'm sure you've heard of entrepreneurs, but they're called appreneurs. So that's really interesting. Here, I have a chart that I got online. It's a little old, but there's a recent one that says that's exactly right. It usually takes about 18 weeks total to do a good app, whether it was an iPhone app or Android app, Windows app. You might be able to do an app in a couple hours, sure, but it's not going to have a cool interface, not going to have the right marketing. It's not going to be launched correctly, and it probably may have some glitches and some bad legal decisions that were made. I don't know. But supposedly it takes 18 total weeks to have a good app out there, which is the same as drilling 3,000 feet oil wells. So I thought they were pretty unique facts here. And also, it'd take about 40 times you could take the Apollo 11 to the moon. So 18 weeks is a pretty good time. What I thought was great is that we as students are able to do all this at no charge. I mean, we have the DreamSpark account provided by us by WKU. And that, I mean, it has a lot of the technologies that we need to not really do like an iPhone app or the Android app, but we could do a Windows phone app, and that'd definitely give us some experience doing that. That's definitely something I'm looking forward into once I get into a break. So I thought that was interesting, and like I said, here's a website where it gives us it gives us like instructions on how to start doing that, how we can build our first Windows phone app. So I thought that was pretty cool, and enjoying that app revolution that's going on right now. So basically, we can download those free tools that we get, no charge to students. We can build it. We can go through the steps, and we can test out our app and publish it. And I thought that was amazing that we got that offered to us. So that was really cool. And these go into detail about that. And I thought that was great. And again, here are my references. And I want to thank y'all for listening to this presentation. And just to let you know, the DreamSpark account we have access to with our WKU account, which kind of looks like this. So, okay, well, thank you and have a good night.